girl. You know, for days now I've been watching you as you walk by. But I've been afraid to come out and tell you exactly just what's on my mind.
Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to the Dubs Only podcast. We have a special NBA preview for you between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, with Game 1 being tonight. So let's go ahead and start this off with 3 to the Dome, with my 3 storylines going into this NBA Finals. Let's go and kick it off. So the first thing I got is it's a small market NBA Finals matchup here. You have the Indiana Pacers, you have the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have Midwest America versus Middle America. You have no historic teams in the NBA Finals. What you do have are 2 rural cities that are going for their first NBA championship with super die-hard fans. Now, for the NBA, maybe they might not like it because of ratings-wise, because you don't have a historic face or a historic figure or a historic team featured in this NBA Finals. But what makes up for that is the quality of basketball that I believe is going to be played between these 2 teams. Now, if you look at both cities, Oklahoma City, you look at Indiana, both cities are basketball cities. I don't care if they had never won a professional championship in the NBA from their teams. These teams live and breathe basketball. You look at Oklahoma City ever since when the Thunder first got there, packed arenas, crazy fans yelling out, cheering, booing against the other team. These are diehard fans, if you've seen. Same thing with Indiana. Indiana is a basketball state. I don't care what anybody says. From documentaries that I've seen, from people that I've talked to from Indiana, Indiana is a basketball city. The Hoosiers, you have all that stuff. And I think this is going to be a great NBA Finals, not in the sense that, like I said, you're not going to have your historic players or historic figures in this game, but what you're going to have is great basketball. So that's one thing that I'm excited for with the small market NBA Finals team, because I think there's going to be great basketball played between both teams. And both of them going for their first championship, I think that's going to play a bigger factor. That's going to make both of them teams want more, especially from the fan perspective. I think both fan bases are going to be like hectic, going to be crazy, going to be hollering, going to be talking a lot of mess to players, just the feeling of bringing your first championship back to your city, your team. It can't get much better than that. Let's go ahead and go into topic 2, which is going to be the Pacers offense versus the Thunder defense. Now, historically, the Thunder's defense has been great, all-time great. Both they have great net rating, great defensive rating. Both this team just knows how to play together, play as one, able to take up space for the other player if something goes wrong or someone's lacking. If someone's in a misplace and someone's right there to take over, to cover until they get back. This team just shows complete effort. They show the willingness to sacrifice their bodies. They show the willingness just to be there for one another. And when it comes to basketball and a championship type form, this is needed, because if you don't have a team that cares or shows an effort on defense, then their play on offense isn't going to be quite there, because everything starts on the defensive end. That's where the energy starts. And if you're able to get that stop, it's going to give you momentum. It's going to show you, like, okay, now let's go ahead and get a bucket. Let's get a stop. Let's get a bucket. Let's get a stop. Let's get a bucket. And that's exactly what this defense is. They also have great defenders. You have Isaiah Hartenstein, who's been a force down to low. Same thing with Chet Holmgren, who's a defensive anchor right there. May not have the size of the body to do it, but he has the length to be able to alter any shot down there. You have Lou Dort, who's also a perimeter defender. Among the league's best, I would say, with his build. He's built like a football player. It's hard to move around, hard to get around him, hard to get through because of his stature. You have Cason Wallace off the bench, who's also a great defender against guards. Alex Caruso is another great defender who's been able to play against the NBA's best player and do a great job against him in Nikola Jokic in that Game 7. So I think this team is just full of defenders who are just willing to lay it out and show the effort and put it on the line for one another. And that's going to be key here. But let's flip to the other side of the Pacers offense, because it's going to be them. The X factor for this is going to be them turning up the pace. And what I mean by that is it's going to fall all on Tyrese Halliburton. Because with Tyrese Halliburton, he was voted most overrated player coming into this NBA playoffs, which is kind of crazy, because the output that he has put on tape, that he has shown out there, he has a great assist to turnover ratio, as we saw in the previous series with the Knicks. He had a game where I want to say he had 10 plus assists, and he had 0 turnovers. When you have a player like that who's able to control and be able to make the right read, it just makes that your offense that much more dangerous and harder to guard. Now, with that being said, that's not the thing. That's not what I'm trying to go into with Tyrese Halliburton, just making the right read. For Tyrese Halliburton in this offense, what they need to do if they want to get around this defense is going to be able to pick up the pace, no pun intended, kill it on the fast break when the Thunder's defense isn't set. But when the Thunder's defense is set, it's going to have to be Tyrese Halliburton playing consistently aggressive and looking for his shot. In this one, I want him to be a little more selfish. I want him to look for his shot. I want him to get into the paint. I want him to make floaters, make layups, because if he's able to do that, it's going to make this offense that much more dangerous. Because with Tyrese Halliburton, when you have a point guard like Tyrese Halliburton, who's able to make the right read, but he's not looking for a shot entirely. What defenders are going to do is just sag off. They're going to play tighter on their own man and just stay there and wait for the pass to come, because they know it's going to come, because Tyrese is a pass first type player. But if you have Tyrese who's going to be aggressive and look for his own shot, it's going to force another defender to come on over. And if another defender comes on over, that just leaves that player open. And Tyrese is one of the best in the league, if not, he's top 3 in the league, I would say, can read a defense and be able to make the correct play. He's up there with the LeBron James. He's up there with the Luka Doncic. He's up there with the best, in my opinion, Chris Paul. So if Tyrese Halliburton is able to get into the paint, able to make his floaters and layups and force the defense to collapse on him, and which will inevitably make it easier to find the open lane, open player, then I think that's going to put the Pacers above on top over the Thunder and the defense. All right, let's go into our last storyline. Let's go into X Factors, who I think is going to be an X Factor for each team, and the reason why they'll win if these players do perform how they're supposed to. Let's go ahead and start with the Thunder, and my X Factor for the Thunder, it's going to be Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, when it comes just to the main players, the core players, such as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, when it comes to Jalen Williams, when it comes to Chet Holmgren, I kind of have an expectation of what they're going to be able to provide up there. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be able to get his. I think that cool, calm, collect mentality is going to stick with him. I don't think he's going to be rushed. I don't think he's going to be doing anything out of the ordinary, what he's been doing. I think that Shai is going to continue to get his own shot, be able to go to the free throw line, be the 3-level scorer that he is, and just be able to just show why he was the MVP and why he is among the league's best players. I think that Jalen Williams is going to be a good number 2 option. I think that the adrenaline is actually going to benefit him in the sense that it's going to force him to play better and force him to play up to a better another level. I think that he's going to be in the late teens to like early 20s. Early 20s and scoring. I think that he's still going to be an incredible defender. He's going to be there locking up the secondary primary offensive player for the Thunder. I mean for the Pacers. I think that Chet Holmgren is going to continue to be. I think that Chet Holmgren, he's going to be able to do his thing as well, being the anchor in the defensive range and just be able to alter shots, stuff like that. But when it comes to Isaiah Hartenstein, I think that when it comes to him, if he's able to create and make that floater in the paint with Miles Bridges on him, I think that's going to make him that much more of a dangerous threat. Because we know Isaiah Hartenstein is also a playmaker. He likes to pass the ball as well. He's a good rebounder too. So if Isaiah Hartenstein is able to hit those floaters and is able to just be a threat down low and be a threat to score, then that's just going to open up the Thunder's offense that much more. Now let's flip on over as we go to the Indiana Pacers side and what I think the X Factor is going to be there, or who the X Factor is going to be. And he shouldn't be an X Factor because he just won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He's won an NBA championship, but I think that he is the X Factor just because of who his matchup is going to be against, and that's going to be Pascal Siakam versus Chet Holmgren. Now, I say that in the sense that Pascal Siakam has won an NBA championship, and he has the experience and strength over Chet. If you think about it, they're both. Chet's probably the taller, lengthier player, but when it comes to size, when it comes to strength, Pascal Siakam is stronger than him, has more experience than him, knows the better angles, how to attack. I think that with Siakam there being able to, if Siakam is able to win that matchup with Chet Holmgren, it's going to open everything else up for everyone, especially for Halliburton. I think it's also going to open everything up for Nesmith, Mathurin. It's going to open up for Nembhard. I'm just gonna say the same thing. Just having that championship experience and being able to, and it wasn't just championship experience of him just being there. It was him actually contributing and actually making plays towards winning the championship when he was in Toronto. So I think that having that experience from 6 years ago to now doing it again, being here, and being able to lead his team, it's gonna help make wonders for the Pacers. So I think that's gonna be my X factor for the Pacers. If Pascal Siakam is able to win that matchup with Chet Holmgren, then I believe that the Indiana Pacers will win the series. Well, let's go ahead and go into my predictions. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the NBA Finals in Game 6, and I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning the Finals MVP. Those are going to be my predictions. Let's see if they come true. That's going to be it for Dubs Only Podcast. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay tuned. More is coming soon.
But I've been afraid to come out and tell you exactly just what's on my mind. Well, I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think